What's up, YouTube? Dontavious here, three-time Team USA high jumper, five-time NCAA All-American, four-time SEC Silver Medalist, and now coaching high school athletes. So my athletes have been able to go from 5'6" to 6'4". I've had athletes go from 5'10" to 6'2". I've had athletes go from the 6 feet range to jumping in the 6'6", 6'7" range, right? And today, what we're going to be talking about is being able to jump up first and where we should be thinking about jumping in the high jump, right? So we're going to start with just understanding what the misconception is and what most athletes tend to do in the sport. So when you think about the high jump, right, many athletes feel as though you have to get ready to go over the bar and reach to the bar to actually go over the bar, right? And what this comes from is the fact that when you're a young athlete, the bar starts below your height. So as you continue to get better, like as you jumping at these low bars, let's say if you're a girl and you're like a 5'6" girl and your bar starts at 4'6". You're always going to be trying to get over the bar like this and dive over the bar because that's where the bar is, right? But if you think about this, whenever that bar gets to 6 feet one day, if she gets to that level, she can no longer go like this and dive over the bar. So what can you do, right? What can you do, right? In the guy's case, for our gentleman who gets stuck in the 6 feet range or the 5'10" range, because that's like the height of most guys, when the bar is down at 5'6" and 5'8", and you get to just kind of reach over it a little bit before you jump, like, understood, right? But when that bar goes up 6'6", and you're only 6 feet tall, you can no longer go like this, right? So that's probably the main problem that persists in regards to high jump and how athletes are missing out on 2 or 3 inches. They're just literally just going straight into the bar without first, trying to rise up and attack up in the high jump, right? And what we're going to be explaining today is we're going to just be trying to think about and shift our mind to thinking more of jumping up into a chute, right? So if you guys have ever seen any of those futuristic old cartoons or just a clip of them when they kind of zoop up like through a tube and travel to a different area location, right? That's exactly what we're really trying to do here, right? If you look here, you kind of see we have this chute, right? And this chute is going well above the bar. And that's really what you want to be thinking, because this whole concept, it gives you the idea that I don't necessarily have to jump, at the bar or jump toward the bar to get over the bar. All you have to do is try to jump up through the chute, and the chute is going to take you over the bar. And that essentially is what a high jump is. All right. All we're trying to do is convert all of our horizontal momentum that we're bringing at the bar and convert it upward. So what better way to try and do that other than try to jump straight up? There are other things that go in correlation with jumping straight up, whether that's leaning away in the curve, whether that's running your curve a certain way, whether that's body position at takeoff. All of these things go into that, but we also have to think about where we're jumping. Where are we looking? I know some people say you should look at the bar when you jump. You should do this, you should do that. I honestly do not believe that. I believe you will jump where your eyes are. I recommend looking above the bar because we want to jump in that space above the bar, right? So not only do you want to look above the bar, you also want to have the idea of, I'm going to jump up through a chute and I'm going to go over this bar because of my ability to go up the chute, right? So like I said, the whole point is to break this whole belief of thinking if I go, I have to get ready to arch. I have to get ready to go into my position. So I have to go this way, turn my whole head to the side. I have to put my whole arm out, and I have to try and arch as best as I can. No, you have to become an approach-focused, rotation-focused high jumper who has the ability to put themselves in the mind frame to just say, I'm just going to use my full approach here, and I'm going to take it straight up, right? And in the high jump, if you just have this mindset of trying to jump straight up at takeoff, and when you try this and you realize that, man, when I just try to jump straight up, I'm not getting any rotation, I'm not getting into the pit the right way, I'm not getting all this different stuff, that means you need work in other parts of your approach. If you cannot just go up and try to almost jump straight up and still get into rotation and get into all your positions in the high jump, that's a problem. And that problem started well before you ever got to a takeoff, right? But today we're referring to just this point specifically, right? We're assuming that you've been able to run a good approach, you've got a good lean in the curve, and this is us finishing the job. Right, we're finishing the job by choosing our takeoff position and our takeoff angle, and the fact that we are going to strike this straight vertical, as vertical as we can. Right, and it's okay to strike a little bit this direction. A lot of speed jumpers strike a little bit that direction and don't go straight up like a lot of power jumpers tend to do. But that's okay. But what we don't want to do is strike straight through here. That's what we do not want to do. And when you think about the concept of the chute, it's almost impossible for you to ever try and go straight through that bar, because that's not what you're thinking about. Usually jumpers are thinking about trying to get over the bar. We don't want to think about that. All we want to do is think about what we can control. And what we can control is our ability to strike vertical or jump straight up through the chute and let the chute take us. That's just like us talking about in the high jump. We just want to jump. We want to attack the approach as best as we can and jump straight up vertical and let the rotation take us over the bar. Not the arch, not the bending our back, not any of those other concepts that people may say actually get you over the bar that do not get you over the bar. What's going to get you over the bar, and this is never going to change, is your ability to approach the bar and rotate over the bar. That's what's going to get you over the bar. It's never going to change, right? And when we get to the point of takeoff, jumping up this chute is what's going to put us in a better position to reach even higher heights, because we're not cutting ourselves short by diving into this bar, right? And this is something I've used on my athletes. It's something I have used in the past, from me going from jumping 4.8 to now jumping 7.5 today, being one of the top 28 high jumpers on the planet. And this is, just one of the concepts and ideas that I've taught my athletes. Like, I've had one of my athletes have a 2-inch PR in his season. I had another athlete have 4-inch PR, 6-inch PR. I had an athlete go from jumping, 6'6" to 6'10" over a 6-week period, right? All of this is possible when you have the right guidance and support, right? And that's exactly what we do inside of my program, the High Jump Blueprint, right? And to give you guys an overview of what happens inside of my program, right? The first thing that we tackle inside of my program is mindset. So we make sure your athlete is squared away at the mindset, make sure they're confident and actually can perform and have that self-belief to actually put themselves in position to succeed, right? After mindset, we make sure they are technically sound in the high jump by administering specific drills. It's going to help them target their weaknesses in regards to their technique / their form, right? So high jump. And after high jump, what we get into is training. So I design your athletes full training blocks over a 6-month period and make sure that they are in position to actually, jump higher, be stronger in the weight room with specific lifts that I've learned over my, my 5+ years or so at the collegiate / the professional level. And I apply all of this to my athletes as well, right? So training. And whenever your athlete has these 3 things in place and we're working on these together, then this is what puts them in a loop and puts them in position to eventually get recruited and earn college scholarships, right? And if you're the parent of a high school high jumper who actually wants to succeed in the sport, who wants to jump personal best, win state championships, or earn college scholarships, then book a call with me down below and we'll hop on a call to walk your athlete through what they need to do to actually get better in the sport, right? And if you're an athlete who's watching this video right now, be sure to get this video to your parents so they can book a call in on your behalf so we can get all of you guys on the call. So like I said, book a call with me down below if you want to actually improve your high jump performance or want your athlete to actually succeed in the sport.